We're talking today about maize in particular. Chris, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Godfrey.
And leaving the food outside. But we want to talk food because we have an abnormal situation on the commodities front, particularly on the maize front. We're seeing what we would call in the bond markets an abnormal curve. We're seeing white maize prices below yellow maize prices. How is that?
Yeah, I think, Godfrey, that's a function of the markets, a function of how much commodity, how much food is out there, potential food in the sense of white and yellow maize. And yes, we see that inverse around 60 Rand at the moment, so yellow maize 60 Rand higher than white maize. Right. And really, if you look at it's driven by the more recent crop estimates figures that came out towards the end of February, where we saw that the new crop, and white maize particularly, is 15% higher than last year's production.
Yeah, it's clean on that screen, yeah.
And when you look at yellow maize is down 3%. So it just simply is how much commodity is going to be there at the moment.
And it's coming out in the prices.
That's it. It's, when you've got a transparent market, willing buyer, willing seller, it's very clear that the market is pricing yellow maize at a premium.
Yeah. But now, let's be clear here. We're talking about the July contract here.
That's correct.
Okay.
So the charts that you'll see is definitely referring to the July future. So it's not the cash price, the spot month price. If you had to look at the March price, very similar to where you're seeing July, which means the market is also saying we've got a surplus product. We're not going to give you the benefit of a higher price to compensate you for the storage and interest.
Yeah, that must be very good news indeed for Central Bank Governor Jill Marcus. I'm sure I should be listening to that and thinking, gee, if I've got cheap maize prices here, potentially I've got low food prices, and that would be good for inflation.
But that's very true because, South Africa is very fortunate. We run in a free market, we operate in a free market system, and now we have surplus product and significant surplus product. I think so from a consumer's point of view, everyone must be very happy that we can look forward to cheaper maize meal prices.
Apart from the farmers, of course.
The farmers are, I think, the ones that are now saying, hang on, yes, we've planted, what do we do if we haven't managed price risk? Right. And they had that opportunity. If you look at when they were growing, starting to plant, they could have locked in something. It would have been a great expectation to tell a farmer to lock in 100% before December. That would have been silly. But there was an opportunity to lock in something at least around the 1600 level, which is a lot higher than the 1120 on white where it's currently trading.
Absolutely. The question though, Chris, is how sustainable is this? How long are we likely to see these prices persisting at these levels? And also that inverse relationship we have between the yellow and the white. Yeah. How long will that likely hold, do you think?
It's a good question, Godfrey. It all depends on how much exports. Because look, as far as consumption in South Africa, we're in that 8 million, just over 8 million tons that we would consume locally. Now it depends, can we secure export orders? Can we put it out to deep sea tenders, which means ship it to offshore countries? Is there that likelihood? And that will then say, fine, if we can secure some more export orders, we get rid of the surplus, then we'll see the commodity prices start lifting on the white and yellow. We also see a lot of the feed industry saying, why do I need yellow maize? Which is traditionally the source, saying if I can buy white maize cheaper, let's feed that to our animals. So we will also see a bit of a shift there in consumption figures.
But we do know that there is a market in Southern Africa because we know there's been a drought in Zimbabwe. We know Malawi has also, been struggling with this crop. So regionally, the opportunities are there. It's a question of finding them, isn't it? And of course, dealing with the politics that accompanies the food.
Plus the region needs the cash to buy the product. That's it. So yeah, we'd welcome the region to buy more and more of the maize. We're certainly going to have that season. If we don't see those exports coming through, we will typically see farmers planting a lot less next season. But interesting enough, we have already listed the July 2011 contract. Okay. And that has started trading quite actively.
Where's that price?
And that price there at the moment is, if you look at white maize, just under 1,300 Rand a ton. So 12.90 was yesterday's closing price on white, and yellow maize 13.61. So there, yellow is still trading at a slight premium. But yeah, that's
plan for next year and lock in your price today.
Very well.
Absolutely. One final question, Chris. Wheat. We're seeing huge wheat stocks globally, but we're not seeing the price of bread here, and I'm talking like a layman here. I'm not seeing the price of bread here improving, and yet at the same time, we've got a very, very strong rand. Why is that?
Time. It's a function of time, Godfrey, and I think if you look at the issues out there, is a lot of millers, and not trying to defend them, is they've obviously bought wheat a few months ago, and they need to mill that wheat first and get that out the system. then they can start considering passing that on.
How much of those stocks do they have? Surely the price on that graph should be showing us that, they should be beginning to trend lower as the price on that graph is saying.
I think because there is the volatility in the market, there's a lot of few millers will go out and buy a year's stock in advance.
Right.
And so normally it is about a three to 5 month cycle where you first, that's what the rolling stock they will be holding. So expect a 3 month lag. There's always this type of lag that will go through the market.
A 3 month lag, that's what Chris says. We're going to look forward to those prices coming down hopefully in the near future.